beloved child, pause for a moment in the midst of your busy thoughts and listen to the tenderness of my voice, for I long to reassure you of how deeply I care about every breath you take, every hope you cherish, and every tear that falls in secret. I am always by your side, guiding you through valleys of worry and doubt, and rejoicing with you on mountaintops of victory and celebration. I do not remove my gaze from you, even when you fail to feel my presence, for my devotion to you is steadfast and unwavering. Trust that I am at work in ways you cannot always discern, paving roads where you see only barriers, and weaving blessings into your story when you believe all is lost. You need not search frantically to find me, for I stand near, waiting for your heart to acknowledge that I am the one who holds you in the cradle of unending grace. I surround you with my love, and I will never let you go. You are precious to me, fashioned in my image with a purpose that transcends the limits of earthly logic or fleeting achievements. And I watch you with a love that is as boundless as the sky above you. Do not compare yourself to those around you, wondering if you measure up or if you have been overlooked. For I crafted your essence uniquely, equipping you with gifts and abilities to shine exactly in the way I intended. Embrace the beautiful truth that your life carries significance, a purposeful melody in my grand symphony of creation, and no dissonant note can truly extinguish the sound of hope I have placed within you. It delights my heart when you seek me in the midst of your triumphs and trials alike. For in every circumstance, I celebrate your humble willingness to draw near. I rejoice in you, for you are my treasured child. I see the nights when you lie awake, wrestling with unspoken fears or silent tears that trace the curve of your cheeks, because the burdens feel far too heavy to bear alone. I know the questions that swirl in your mind, the uncertainties about how tomorrow's sunrise will bring relief, or if a solution will even appear on the horizon. Yet understand this: I hold your anguish in my hands as gently as a parent cradles a newborn, for your pain is never trivial to me, and each sigh of your soul resonates in my heart. No matter how tumultuous your circumstances become, you can trust that I am orchestrating unseen possibilities, preparing ways of rescue and renewal, even when you cannot comprehend how things will ever improve. Let your heart rest, for I bring comfort beyond human understanding. I am your refuge, a fortress standing unwavering against the storms that crash upon the shores of your life, and you can run to me without shame or hesitation. In the darkness of the night, when doubts advance like shadows stretching over every hope, turn to me, and I will illuminate your path. For my light is never extinguished by the intensity of adversity. Recall how I safeguarded my people through perils in ancient times, parting seas and crumbling walls at the sound of obedience and faith. For in the same manner, I uphold you with arms that neither tire nor falter. Your enemies, whether fear, despair, or the lies that tell you you're unworthy, have no lasting power when confronted by my infinite grace. Take courage, for I shield you beneath the shadow of my wings. You may not see the paths I carve through seemingly impenetrable obstacles, but remember that I do not expect you to unravel all mysteries. I ask only that you surrender your anxieties to me, that you whisper your burdens into my ear, and trust in my capacity to handle what daunts you. Do not be discouraged if you cannot instantly perceive tangible proof of my intervention, for I often move in the quiet spaces of your spirit, setting miracles into motion long before they appear in your line of sight, like seeds germinating beneath the earth. My works often develop hidden from view, waiting for the right moment to break forth into sunlight. Rest in the knowledge that I work tirelessly on your behalf, guiding every season of your life. When your heart is weighed down by failures, both the ones you speak of openly and those you bury deep within, know that my forgiveness is greater than any mistake you can make, and I will not abandon you because of your shortcomings. True repentance opens the floodgates of my mercy, cleansing your spirit and freeing you from guilt's suffocating grip, allowing you to walk in the beauty of restoration. Do not fear that you are beyond redemption or that your flaws define you, for it is my desire to shape you anew, to show you that beyond every fall, a new beginning beckons. Remember how I restored David after his brokenness and welcomed the prodigal son with joyous celebration. So too do I welcome you always. Rise again in hope, for my mercy rewrites your past with redemption and grace. I understand your longing for reassurance that I am near, and I am delighted when you reach out to me in prayer. Whether in times of desperation or moments of gratitude, speak to me as you would to a dear friend. For while I am the Almighty, I am also the one who wants to abide in the chambers of your heart. You don't need grandiose words or rituals to capture my attention. Your simplest petitions, your humble thanks, your honest confessions, these move my heart, because I cherish your authenticity. Hold tightly to this truth. I listen with compassion, and I respond in ways tailored to your deepest good, though my answers may unfold slowly or arrive in forms you never expected. Share your soul with me, for I delight in every prayer you offer. Life may feel like a winding maze, where you hit walls of disappointment, chase fleeting dreams, and sometimes wander, unsure of which turn to take next. When confusion clouds your mind, remember that I am the navigator who sees the entire course, the one who can lead you through twists and turns with steady guidance. Trust that my spirit whispers direction in your moments of stillness, urging you toward choices that align with your true purpose, even if they defy logic or common expectation. There is no confusion in my perspective, and I invite you to lean into my wisdom rather than relying solely on human reasoning. Let me guide you, for I know every path and each hidden passageway. I created you with a unique voice, a blend of your laughter, your thoughts, and your dreams. And I love hearing the sound of your life rising to heaven, whether in joyful praise or quiet reflection. Do not silence yourself out of fear that your heart's words are unworthy or unimportant, because no cry of yours is ever dismissed in my kingdom. Every time you choose to honor me with your talents, your service, or even a soft-spoken act of kindness, you are aligning with my will, and your life becomes a living testimony of grace that touches others in more ways than you realize. Even the small things, a kind word to a stranger, a meal shared with the hungry, a peaceful gesture toward an adversary, are immensely powerful when carried out in my name. Speak and act with love, for I amplify even your smallest offerings into something wondrous. Perhaps you are weary of waiting for breakthroughs, and each passing day seems to multiply your doubts rather than confirm your hopes. My beloved, remember that I work beyond the boundaries of human timelines and schedules, and what seems delayed to you is perfectly timed in my eternal perspective. When I choose to move, no power can hinder the fulfillment of my plan for your life. And sometimes, my greatest miracles spring forth at the very moment all human possibilities have collapsed. So, hold on to faith, trusting that I am never neglectful, never late, always orchestrating each step to reveal a glorious outcome that will amaze you. Wait patiently, for my timing emerges with a perfection that surpasses your every expectation. My heart aches for every injustice you endure, every moment you feel misunderstood, marginalized, or wounded by the world's cruelty. And I want you to realize that these pains do not go unnoticed in heaven's court. Though people may fail to grant you the dignity you deserve, I see your true worth, and my justice will ultimately prevail. Because I am a God who loves righteousness and defends those who have no advocate. Have courage in the face of adversity. Stand firmly upon the unchanging foundation of my promises, knowing that I stand with you as both your shield and your avenger. Cling to my promises, for I will uplift and vindicate you in my perfect way and time. Remember that even at your weakest, you are not disqualified from my purpose or my protection, because my strength is magnified in the midst of your frailty. When you stagger under the weight of trials, do not be ashamed of your tears or your trembling knees, for I am the one who steadies your steps and binds up every wound. Let your vulnerability usher you into deeper reliance on my grace, for in that moment of surrender, you discover the inexhaustible power of my love, carrying you over storms you never thought you could cross. Take heart, for my strength upholds you when your own resolve falters. I invite you to see me not as a distant figure perched upon unreachable heights, but as the one who walked this earth in humility, endured human trials, and embraced suffering, so you would never face hardship alone. Through my own sacrifice, I demonstrated that no pain is too dark, no burden too heavy, for me to transform into a story of redemption. The cross is a timeless reminder that my empathy for you is not superficial. It is the deep resonance of divine compassion that sees every dimension of your hurt and redeems it. Look to me, for my scars reveal a love that understands every fragment of your pain. When you find yourself grappling with self-doubt or listening to the negative voices in your mind that question your abilities, recall that I chose imperfect vessels throughout history to accomplish extraordinary feats. Moses doubted his speech, Gideon considered himself insignificant, and Esther feared the king's wrath. Yet in each scenario, I empowered them far beyond their limited self-perception. Trust that I can and will do the same through you, shining a light through your weaknesses and using them as vessels for my glory, so that no one can claim the credit but me. Step forward in confidence, for I make my strength perfect in your weakness. Do not imagine that your sins or repeated failings have exhausted my willingness to forgive, for my mercy is an ocean without boundary, ready to submerge every regret in its healing depths. When you repent with sincerity, I do not simply sweep your transgressions under a rug. I remove them as far as the east is from the west, obliterating their hold on your life. Embrace this freedom with gratitude, allowing my cleansing love to transform your guilt into hope, your mourning into rejoicing, and your defeat into a renewed sense of purpose. Accept my forgiveness, for I delight in seeing you walk unburdened by shame. There are moments when your soul longs for signs, dramatic, undeniable evidences of my hand at work. Yet I often choose subtlety, sprinkling hints of my presence in the quiet corners of your day. A gentle breeze reminding you that my spirit moves. A timely word from a friend that resonates with an inner prayer, or an unexpected provision that meets your need precisely. These are not coincidences, but footprints of my grace. If you live alert to my workings, you will see that I constantly surround you, performing miracles both large and small, to remind you that you are held in a realm of unfailing love. Remain attentive, for my wonders often unfold in the hush of daily life. When the path ahead appears shrouded in uncertainty, and each decision feels like a step into the unknown, remember that I am the lamp who lights your steps, illuminating just enough for you to walk confidently. You do not need to see the entire journey to trust the one who orchestrates it, and I promise that I will guide you safely, ensuring that every twist and turn contributes to your growth and the fulfillment of my purposes. Look to me when fear tries to seize your heart, because in the glow of my wisdom, confusion is dispelled and trust is kindled anew. Trust my guidance, for I illuminate the way even when darkness encroaches. Sometimes you feel invisible, like your prayers bounce off a silent sky, unheard and unacknowledged. But I want you to know that not a single request, not a single sigh of desperation goes unnoticed by me. I collect your tears in my palms, and I inscribe your heartfelt yearnings upon my heart, because I cherish every piece of who you are. Keep seeking me earnestly, for I assure you that no honest cry is lost in the wind, and at the appointed time you will witness how I have been weaving answers into the tapestry of your life. Be persistent, for I respond to every cry in ways more profound than you can envision. I have placed dreams within you, desires that may seem too grand or impossible when measured against your resources. Yet, with me, impossibilities shift and mountains bow before perseverance fueled by divine promise. Do not abandon those visions just because human logic cannot chart a clear path. Invite me into your planning, your efforts, and your hopes, so that I may show you the wondrous things I can do. Each dream, when surrendered to me, gains access to the limitless power of heaven, turning mere wishes into seeds of destiny, awaiting the right conditions to sprout. Nurture your dreams, for I empower them to bloom at the perfect season. If loneliness settles over you like a heavy fog, obscuring the warmth of companionship or support, remember that I designed you for connection not only with me, but also with others. Seek community among those who share your thirst for righteousness, for you will find encouragement in joining hands with fellow travelers on this earthly pilgrimage. And do not overlook the solace you can bring to someone else. Often, by comforting others, you too discover a sense of belonging that transcends solitude. Find comfort in fellowship, for I have fashioned your heart to thrive in loving company. There will be seasons where you feel misunderstood, misrepresented, or criticized unfairly, and the weight of condemnation might crush your spirit if you harbor bitterness or resentment. Surrender those hurts to me. I see your innocence, your efforts, and I will deal with the unkindness you face in my time and my manner. Hatred and offense only harm your own heart, blocking you from the fullness of my grace. Forgive as I have forgiven you, trusting that I will heal every wound inflicted by careless words or malicious intent. Release your anger, for my grace restores your peace and rights every wrong in due season. Think back on the ways I have delivered you in the past, moments you once deemed hopeless, only to find a door swinging open just when your strength was depleted. Recall the prayers I answered in the 11th hour, the blessings that arrived unexpectedly, and the transformations that blossomed from bleak circumstances. These memories stand as markers of my faithfulness, stones of testimony you can look upon whenever new challenges loom, reminding you that I have not changed, and I will once again bring good from what you fear is irredeemable. Trust in my consistency, for the miracles of yesterday foreshadow the triumphs of tomorrow. Amid the noise of life, when busyness threatens to drown out the voice of your own soul, carve out moments of stillness where you can commune with me in the depths of silence. In that sacred space, you will discover my peace washing over your mind like a gentle stream, purifying your anxieties and infusing you with clarity. Whether it is through reflective prayer, time in nature, or simply resting in quiet adoration, these intervals of rest become sanctuaries that strengthen your spirit to face every challenge. Embrace solitude, for my presence meets you powerfully in moments of hushed reverence. Do not fear the changes that inevitably arise, for life is in perpetual motion, and I orchestrate every shift with wisdom. You may long for the familiar, but it is often in transitions, moving from one chapter to the next, that you grow the most. Change can be uncomfortable, but trust that I am writing a story far richer than your expectations. A narrative that stretches your faith and magnifies my provision in unprecedented ways. Even when you feel unsteady, remember that I remain the unchanging cornerstone, holding you safe and secure. Walk boldly into new seasons, for I stand as the constant in every chapter of your life. I value your honesty when you pour out your confusion, disappointment, or frustration, for a child's candor never drives away a loving parent. In fact, when you approach me with raw sincerity, you open the door for my comforting spirit to enter the darkest corners of your doubts and bring life where dryness abounds. You need not mask your struggles with polite pretenses. Remember the psalmists who cried out in anguish, yet discovered that my mercies were deeper than any valley they faced. Speak your heart freely, for I welcome every emotion and renew you in my compassion. I long for you to recognize that you are not defined by the labels others have pinned upon you, nor by the mistakes etched into your memory, but by the relationship we share. You are my child, set apart by a love that defies human logic, chosen to reflect my goodness in a world hungry for genuine hope. Dismiss the lies that shout you are too broken, too inadequate, or too flawed, for my love sees beyond every limitation, delighting in the very uniqueness you sometimes view as a hindrance. Know that you are mine, and in that truth, find the confidence to stand against any false identity. Sometimes I will nudge you to serve those in need, to lend a listening ear, or to care for someone forgotten by society. And while these tasks may seem small, They resonate mightily in eternity. Every act of kindness, every selfless gesture, mirrors my heart of compassion, extending a touch of heaven to souls wearied by life's harsh edges. If you feel you have little to give, remember the widow's mite. She offered what she could, and it bore immeasurable worth in my sight. Do not hesitate to let me use you as an instrument of love in places of pain. Serve faithfully, for I multiply your kindness to bring healing beyond your imagination. When you see darkness spreading through cruelty, hatred, and injustice, do not conclude that my light has grown dim or that evil has gained the upper hand. My word stands firm. The darkness shall never overcome the light I have ignited in the world and in your heart. You too bear this flame of hope, a beacon guiding others to truth and compassion. Stand steadfast in righteousness, resisting the temptation to repay evil with evil, and watch as my brilliance dispels the shadows, one act of love at a time. Shine brightly, for my light within you is unconquerable by any darkness. I marvel when you choose gratitude, even in the face of trials, for thanksgiving flows from a heart that recognizes my presence in every circumstance. A grateful spirit does not deny pain. Rather, it finds reasons to praise in the midst of suffering, thereby transforming what could be despair into an arena where my grace emerges victoriously. In acknowledging each blessing, big or small, you open your eyes wider to the manifold ways I continually show you that you are loved, cared for, and blessed beyond what you often realize. Give thanks in all seasons, for gratitude invites my joy into your trials. You may struggle with worry about your future, fretting over finances, relationships, or the uncertainty of what tomorrow holds. Yet my word assures you that if I clothe the lilies of the field and feed the birds of the air, how much more will I tend to your every need, given that you are infinitely more precious in my sight? Release your anxieties to me like a child letting go of a heavy stone, and I will replace that weight with a peace that defies comprehension, anchoring your mind and heart to my steadfast promises. Surrender your fears, for I provide abundantly, caring for you in every detail. Your humility, when paired with bold faith, draws me closer, for in humility you recognize your dependence on my strength, and in faith you trust that I can accomplish what you cannot. Remember that even a mustard seed of faith can uproot mountains of impossibility, enabling you to do far beyond what you believe you can achieve on your own. Approach me with this posture of trust, and watch how I will elevate you, expand your boundaries, and empower you to conquer daunting odds in my name. Rise with courage, for your humble faith makes room for my limitless power. I see the burdens you carry for loved ones, whether they are lost, hurting, or entangled in harmful decisions, and I want you to know that your prayers for them are far from futile. My heart aches for them even more than yours does, and I am ever at work, illuminating their paths, sending them people who reflect my kindness, and stirring their souls toward repentance and renewal. Continue interceding on their behalf, believing that no heart is too hardened for my transformative grace. Persist in prayer, for I stir hearts in ways beyond your own reach. I desire to fill your life with signs of my goodness, not as mere coincidences, but as milestones, marking the presence of a God who intimately cares about your welfare. At times, you may notice these signs clearly. such as an unexpected financial provision, a healing, or a timely encouragement, but there are countless more that slip by unnoticed, woven subtly into your daily routine. Reflect on these moments. Let gratitude fill your spirit, and you will discover that my blessings form a tapestry of grace, shining with reminders that I have not forgotten you. Stay aware, for I scatter tokens of my kindness throughout each day. Do not shy away from the quiet calling I have placed on your life, the one that stirs your soul and awakens your passion. Perhaps it is a ministry, a vocation, or a creative endeavor that resonates with my heart, yet you feel intimidated by the scope or the demands it might entail. Dare to step into it, leaning on my wisdom and provision rather than your own abilities, and know that I will plant your feet firmly, equip you, and open doors that once seemed locked. Step forward in your calling, for I uphold every mission I initiate through you. It grieves me when you see prayers go seemingly unanswered, and you wonder why I allow certain tragedies or heartbreaks to persist. But be assured that I see beyond the moment. There is a tapestry being woven, threads of which span generations and touch corners of the earth you cannot fathom. And though some prayers appear unanswered, their echo influences the grand design in ways that may only be understood in eternity. I invite you to trust my wisdom, believing that I am still good, still loving, and still in control, even when logic struggles to validate it. Lean on my sovereignty, for I orchestrate outcomes with compassion that surpasses human insight. The storms you face, loss, illness, or betrayal, may rage like tempests determined to tear you apart, but know this: I stand in the midst of every gale, speaking peace over the chaos. Let the image of my Son calming the storm anchor your mind, reminding you that no fury of nature or trial of life is too great for the one who holds creation in his hand. Cling to my presence, trust in my unwavering dedication to you, and you will discover a serenity that transcends the fiercest winds, an anchor for your soul. Cling to me, for I calm every storm that roars against you. I fashioned you to reflect my own creativity, intelligence, and compassion, which means your existence is meant to shine as a testimony of my goodness in a world often overshadowed by cynicism. Do not let discouragement dim that light or convince you that your contributions are insignificant. Even a single candle can pierce the darkest night, and your life, aligned with my purpose, can be a radiant testament that calls others out of despair. Let your light shine, for I have designed you to illuminate where darkness looms. Rejoice in the small victories, the tiny leaps forward, and the subtle transformations that occur in your heart day by day. For spiritual growth rarely happens in an instant. There is beauty in the process, like a seed that quietly develops roots before a sprout ever breaks the soil. You too are maturing under my care, even when progress seems imperceptible. Look back occasionally. See how far you have come, and let that realization foster gratitude, proving that I have been working diligently in your life all along. Celebrate each step, for I nurture your growth with unfailing faithfulness. In the moments you stumble, whether through hurtful words, harmful habits, or lapses in moral judgment, do not hide in shame, distancing yourself from my love. Instead, bring your failures into the light of my forgiveness, for that is where healing begins. and I restore you to walk uprightly once again. Even the greatest saints had their weaknesses, yet they found redemption in acknowledging their dependence on me, allowing my grace to mold them into vessels of honor. Return to my mercy, for I stand ready to cleanse and reestablish you in righteousness. Some days, your faith might feel like a tiny ember, barely glowing amidst the ash of discouragement. But do not underestimate the power of a single spark fanned by the breath of my Spirit. I can reignite that ember into a blazing fire that warms not only your own heart, but also spreads to those around you in need of hope. Keep nurturing that spark through prayer, reflection on my word, and worship that elevates your gaze from earthly struggles to heavenly realities. Fan the flame of faith, for I am the one who sustains and amplifies every sincere devotion. I know you grow weary of conflicts, be they within your own mind, among friends or family, or in the broader realm of society. Peace can seem elusive, but remember that I have entrusted you with the role of a peacemaker, someone who carries my reconciling nature into turbulent spaces. Through patience, empathy, and prayer, you can stand in the gap, offering a calming presence that disarms hostility and ushers in understanding. Pursue peace, for I empower you to mend broken bridges and soothe troubled hearts. Be careful not to let past traumas dictate your future, for while scars remain as reminders, they do not define your destiny. I specialize in bringing beauty out of ashes, turning painful chapters into testimonies of resilience and grace. Dare to believe that the areas where you once felt most wounded can become the very platforms for compassion, enabling you to comfort others with the consolation you have received. Embrace healing, for I transform every wound into a channel of deeper empathy and ministry. I appreciate it when you pause in your daily routines to acknowledge my hand in the simplest blessings: a healthy meal, a restful sleep, a moment of laughter, because these are the threads in the tapestry of goodness I weave around you continually. By consciously noticing these gifts, you train your heart to see my involvement not just in grand miracles, but also in the everyday mercies that sustain your life. This perspective of gratitude elevates your spirit, lifting you from a posture of complaint to one of awe and praise. Give thanks, for I continually surround you with reminders of my gentle care. Let love be your defining motive in all you do, whether it's offering your time, resources, or simply a listening ear to those in distress. Remember the parable of the Good Samaritan, who exemplified neighborly love to a stranger overlooked by others. I call you to similar acts of mercy, which, though they may appear small on a cosmic scale, reflect the very heart of my kingdom. When you love selflessly, you embody the reality of my presence in a tangible way, drawing people closer to the wellspring of hope that resides in you. Show compassion, for love is the currency of my kingdom and the language every soul understands. In your quest for answers to life's challenges, do not neglect the wisdom found in my word, a living document shaped by centuries of revelation, grace, and truth. As you immerse yourself in these sacred texts, my spirit will highlight verses, stories, and parables that resonate with your current struggles, offering insight far surpassing mere human opinions. Let that wisdom reshape your thoughts so you become firmly grounded, unshaken by shifting cultural narratives or personal doubts. Seek my word, for it provides a lamp for your feet and a compass for your journey. When injustice, natural disasters, or crises strike without warning, shaking the very foundation of your faith, recall that nothing surprises me, and my capacity to redeem calamities remains boundless. It does not mean that I authored the tragedy, but that I can intervene to bring about good in the most hopeless scenarios. Be a vessel of comfort, prayer, and tangible help, trusting that I stand in solidarity with those who suffer, ready to inspire hearts toward unity, generosity, and healing. Stand firm in compassion, for I am with you even in the world's darkest hours. Take time to celebrate the mosaic of personalities and backgrounds that surround you. I love diversity, and I wove unique qualities into each person as an expression of my boundless creativity. Resist the urge to judge hastily or dismiss those who differ from you, for in embracing unity amidst variety, you reflect the harmonious chord of heaven, where every tribe and tongue will one day gather. Cherish the perspectives of others, and let empathy expand your capacity to love as I love. Embrace unity, for I created a family of many colors, all dear to my heart. I am aware that pain sometimes blindsides you, leaving you gasping for explanations that seem out of reach. It is in these moments that the closeness of my presence becomes your lifeline, a balm that soothes even when clarity remains elusive. Do not assume that my silence equates to my absence. Rather, I often work quietly, focusing on healing your heart from the inside out, rather than providing immediate solutions that may not truly address your deeper needs. Lean into my nearness, for I heal beyond what words alone can convey. Carry hope in your heart like a lantern in the night, for it casts light ahead of you, guiding each step toward a future shaped by the reality of my eternal promises. Hope is the confident expectation that I am working all things for your good, an unshakable anchor tethered to my unchanging character. Even in seasons of apparent barrenness, hold firmly to the assurance that fruitfulness will eventually burst forth, watered by the streams of my mercy. Keep hope alive, for my plans for you overflow with goodness and peace. Allow yourself the vulnerability to cry when your spirit is overwhelmed, for tears can be a language that conveys what words cannot. I do not belittle your pain. Rather, each tear is held in my heart as a testament to your journey toward deeper trust and wholeness. Let the shedding of tears cleanse your grief or frustration, so my peace may settle in the space left behind, renewing your perspective and strengthening your faith in my unwavering commitment to you. Weep if you must, for I wipe every tear with the tenderness of a loving father. When you come to the end of your resources, physical, emotional, or spiritual, take solace in the reality that my well of strength never runs dry. In those moments of exhaustion, you can rest in my arms, finding the rejuvenation your soul craves. Think of Elijah, who lay under a broom tree in utter despair until I sent nourishment and direction, reviving him for the journey ahead. So too will I provide for you, sending forth exactly what you need at precisely the right time. Let yourself be renewed, for I replenish the weary and sustain the faint. The opinions of people fluctuate like shifting sand, but my view of you remains solid as a rock, affirming your beloved status and applauding the steps of faith you take, however small they may seem. Do not hinge your self-worth on the applause or criticism of humanity. Let my approval define your sense of identity. I see the quiet sacrifices you make, the integrity you practice when no one is watching, and the patience you extend in challenging relationships. Your faithfulness does not go unnoticed by me. Stand on my affirmation, for my love for you does not waver with the tides of public favor. Let me remind you of the promise that those who wait upon me will renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. Far from being a cliché, this is a living truth that applies whenever you feel spent or disheartened. Waiting does not mean inactivity or resignation. It means grounding yourself in prayer, anchoring your expectations in my faithfulness, and preparing your heart to soar when I give the signal. Be patient, dear one, and trust that I have not forgotten the dreams I placed in your heart. Anticipate my movement, for in waiting faithfully, you will rise to new heights of grace. Lean on my Holy Spirit, who abides within you, offering counsel, conviction, and comfort so intimately tailored that none else can replicate it. Consider how a gentle breeze refreshes on a sweltering day, so my Spirit breathes life into your spiritual lungs, strengthening you where you feel powerless. Maintain a sensitivity to these inner promptings, for they serve as divine clues leading you toward deeper intimacy with me and more profound compassion for others. Listen to my Spirit, for therein lies the guidance that reshapes your heart and your journey. In moments of worship, whether through song, adoration, or acts of service, let yourself be transported beyond the mundane routines of life and see that you stand in the courts of heaven, joining the praises of countless souls and heavenly beings. Worship is not merely a ritual. It is an encounter that aligns your spirit with my glory, illuminating your mind and stirring a joyful reverence. When you exalt me, you unburden your heart from self-focus, discovering that in surrender, true freedom abounds. Exalt me wholeheartedly, for worship ushers you into the fullness of my presence. I promise that my love is not swayed by your mood swings, your doubts, or your occasional lapses in commitment. Just as a mountain stands unshaken by passing breezes, my devotion remains constant through the seasons of your life. If condemnation tries to echo in your mind, hush it with the knowledge that I see your soul through a lens of compassion, shaped by my Son's sacrifice, reaffirming your place in my family. Even if you stumble, my arms are ever open, ready to lift you from the dust and whisper, "Arise and walk again. Take heart, for tomorrow brings new mercies." I rejoice over every moment you dwell on my goodness, cherishing the blessings that surface like hidden gems in your everyday routine. The miracle of steady breathing, the warm laughter shared with a friend, the vibrant glow of a morning sun, each testifies to my unwavering involvement. By treasuring these wonders, you recalibrate your spirit away from cynicism toward gratefulness. Watch how this shift in perspective fuels your resilience, fortifying you against negativity. You are never forsaken. My promises hold true forever. I stir within you a boldness to proclaim that my grace transforms lives, lifting the burden of sin and shame, igniting hearts once cold to the wonder of faith. Let no one dissuade you from telling your story of how my kindness lifted you from despair or guided you through labyrinths of confusion. Like the woman at the well, whose entire town was inspired by her testimony, You too can spark waves of hope by courageously sharing my faithfulness. Embrace your voice, for it heralds good news to the weary. I underline the importance of rest, urging you not to become so entangled in the demands of tasks that you forget the Sabbath of your soul. My word in Genesis shows I rested on the seventh day, a blueprint for your need to withdraw sometimes from labor and to soak in my presence. In that quiet, you can hear the deeper echoes of my guidance, recharging your heart with the serenity that wards off burnout. Let your rest be a declaration of faith that I keep working even when you cease, ensuring no aspect of your life collapses without your relentless oversight. Be still, for I carry you in every season. I cherish your uniqueness. Let no one diminish the distinctive way I wired your personality, talents, and passions. If you find that you do not fit a certain mold, recall how my son chose disciples from diverse backgrounds: fishermen, a tax collector, a zealot, each integral to forming a world-changing community. Embrace the singular path I carved for you, leaning on my spirit for validation rather than popular trends or fleeting accolades. Step into your calling, trusting that my power is perfected in your individuality. You are my treasure, and I set you apart for great purpose. I urge you to speak truth, tempered by love, in a culture that sometimes prizes convenience over sincerity. Let your words reflect my righteousness, while your tone exudes my grace. This delicate balance stands out as a beacon of authenticity in an environment where extremes and divisions frequently reign. As the Proverbs remind you, a soft answer can turn away wrath, so keep your speech gracious, showing that my character shapes your response, not the swirl of impulsive emotions. Stand firm in faith, for my love never leaves you. I remind you that the gospel is not just a historical account, but a living reality you partake in daily, bridging earth and heaven through the cross. My son's life, death, and resurrection stand as the apex of my redemptive plan. Each time you recall that sacrifice, let gratitude bloom, fueling your commitment to live out that love in every interaction. The same power that rolled away the stone from the tomb breathes life into your ordinary moments, enabling you to face trials with calm assurance. Hold fast, for my victory encompasses you. I promise a future bright with blessings, though you might not yet see the shape they will take. Let your faith rove beyond the narrow lens of current obstacles. In the gospel, my son often told parables of seeds that, though small, eventually yielded abundant crops. If you plant seeds of faith, even in adversity, trust that time and my nurture will produce a harvest far richer than you can imagine. Rejoice, for my storehouse is vast, and my generosity boundless. Take heart, for there is no shortage in my kingdom. I hold your heart gently when it aches for loved ones who seem distant from me, whether they wander in cynicism, pain, or apathy. My love for them is no less fierce than it is for you, and my pursuit is constant, even if behind the scenes. Pray for them without ceasing, for I move through your intercession, softening hearts and orchestrating circumstances that reveal my presence. Never underestimate the power of love-infused prayer to shift spiritual landscapes, opening windows for my light to stream in. Stay confident, for nothing escapes my redemptive hand. I delight in your laughter, your dancing, your exuberant expressions of joy, for they reflect the abundant life I designed you to experience. Even if sorrow has dominated a chapter of your story, rejoice in the knowledge that I can turn your mourning into dancing, as the Psalms attest. Embrace the moments of pure delight as glimpses of my kingdom, a foretaste of heavenly celebration. Let that optimism root itself deep, so that no challenge can permanently uproot your spirit's capacity for joy. Stand steady, for my goodness flows endlessly. I capture every tear that you shed, every trembling breath of disappointment you sigh, weaving them into a tapestry that declares my power to transform sorrow into songs. Your tears are never wasted. They water the seeds of resilience and compassion, enabling you to empathize with others who likewise feel overshadowed. Consider how my son wept over Lazarus, yet that sorrow became the context for a miracle that magnified my glory. In your own trials, be patient, for I am writing an ending that surpasses your darkest assumptions. Do not worry, for I am opening a new door for you. I rejoice each time you approach me in prayerful reflection about big decisions, trusting that my viewpoint extends beyond the present. Like a shepherd guiding a flock to green pastures, I see the entire route from sunrise to sunset, ensuring you do not wander astray. So do not fear to consult me for clarity in relationships, finances, or personal direction. My spirit responds with wisdom when you humbly request it, revealing step by step how best to align your will with mine. You are never alone. I am forever by your side. I cherish the humility you show when you ask for my help instead of insisting on self-reliance. Many revolve in circles of frustration, believing they must figure out everything alone. But my dear one, I am your eternal source, the wellspring from which you can draw living water for your soul's dryness. In the gospel, my son taught that you can do nothing apart from me, urging you to abide like branches on the vine. Let that truth sink in, dissolving the pride that says you must manage it all. Enjoy my support, for I am your unfaltering foundation. I know that your future holds unknown paths, but I assure you, my child, that I have prepared wonders beyond your imagination. My plan weaves together your gifts, your passions, your trials, and my grace into an outcome that glorifies me while blessing you. If you stand at a crossroads, uncertain which direction leads to the flourishing you seek, rest assured my sovereignty extends even there. Think of how Abraham stepped out, not knowing where he was going, yet discovered abundant blessings by trusting my voice. Let your faith take root, for my promises never fail. I wish to remind you that my love surpasses every boundary of your understanding, outstripping the highest concept of devotion you've ever known. My love is the force that parted seas for my people, that guided the star for wise men seeking a newborn king, that tore the veil so that you can approach me freely. If you ever find yourself doubting this love, look to the cross, the ultimate demonstration of sacrifice and acceptance. There, my son's outstretched arms forever declare your worth. Embrace this truth, for nothing can separate you from my affection. I hope you hold tightly to the conviction that you are never an accident, nor is your journey riddled with random events. Every corner you turn, I go before you, orchestrating encounters and possibilities that can bring deeper meaning. My word in the Gospel of Luke reveals how my son orchestrated a meeting at a well for a Samaritan woman, an interaction that changed her entire village. Similarly, I orchestrate divine appointments for you, each day presenting a chance to reflect my grace. Trust my leading, for I transform the ordinary into sacred moments. Even in the aftermath of your worst failures or the discovery of your darkest secrets, do not run from me in shame, because my love is powerful enough to handle your rawest confessions. My desire is not to condemn you, but to restore you, as I have done for so many who once believed they were beyond redemption. I see the potential and the beauty that remain untouched by your mistakes, and I am eager to realign your life so that it reflects the radiance of my grace. Come as you are, for I transform your deepest scars into testimonies of renewal. As you gaze upon the natural wonders around you, the majesty of mountains, the serenity of rivers, the vast expanse of the starry sky, let them stir your heart toward awe and remind you of my immeasurable greatness. These creations are but whispers of my boundless power, silent choruses declaring that I am the same God who formed you with intricate care. If I can spin galaxies and shape oceans, rest assured that your needs and struggles are never too complex for me to handle with precision and compassion. Marvel at my creation, for it testifies of my unending might and ceaseless attention to your life. At the close of each day, even if you feel you've accomplished little or stumbled over repeated challenges, remember that my love for you does not hinge on your successes or failures. I admire every ounce of your perseverance, every glimmer of faith that pushes you to rise again. Let my unfailing love cradle you to rest, dissolving the day's anxieties and renewing you with the promise that tomorrow is another step in the journey we share, another opportunity for grace to unfold. Rest in my embrace, for my affections never diminish, and each morning brings new mercies. Know that I have borne every burden, every sorrow, and every sin on your behalf, and I have walked the road of suffering so that you might walk the path of redemption. My covenant with you is sealed in love, an unbreakable promise that neither tragedy nor triumph can annul, for it's etched into eternity. When confusion rattles your faith, fall back on this foundational truth. I am for you, I am with you, and I will see you through every season, from the vibrant springtime of blessings to the harsh winter of trials. Take refuge in my covenant, for it stands firm as an everlasting testament of my commitment to you. My beloved child, never doubt that my devotion to you remains unchanged, even as the world around you evolves. I have loved you before you knew my name, and I will continue to uphold you when every other structure fades away. My heart is wide open to your present struggles and future hopes, and I vow to guide you until your journey's end, where my promise of eternal fellowship awaits. Trust in my everlasting faithfulness, for I hold you in the cradle of unfailing love. As you depart from these words, carry with you the certainty that you are not forsaken, that my hand stays upon you through every twist of fate. I bless you, I guard your coming and going, and I set my favor upon you so that you may walk boldly into the unknown, confident that I have paved a road for your success and your spiritual growth. Look ahead with joyous anticipation, because the horizon holds more of my goodness, and I delight in unveiling marvelous surprises that exceed your loftiest dreams. Go forward in peace, for the best is yet to come, and I am ever by your side.